Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom, to Cheifs Latest, your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. Happy Wednesday. We saw the official start of training camp on Tuesday. Season ticket holders got that first glimpse of the team, but of course, team reporters out there to give us all the information, all the sights, the sounds. There's plenty to go over, including, that's right, a new addition as training camp begins for the Chiefs. We'll dive into it all. Do not worry. But before we do, you know the drill. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. I'll even give you a few seconds right now to do so. All right, should be done by now. You want to do that because we have daily videos. That's right, daily videos Monday through Friday here at Cheifs Latest. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications as it not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we know that this wide receiver room is a battlefield, especially, that 4, 5, 6 spot. A lot of competition going on. We have Rice's looming suspension anywhere from 2 to 6 games, most likely. The organization thinks 2 to 4. We'll see how the NFL handles it. But before even the suspension, the Chiefs waived fan favorite, known for his, training camp heroics. That's right. They let go of Justin Ross. And what did they do? Well, they signed undrafted Baylor product Hal Presley. Now, this signals a, ruthless push for roster spots. But let's be real here. This feels more like a lateral move than anything. It's not a game changer. It's not a move that's going to, move the needle one way. It stays about the same. Now, Ross was an undrafted free agent. He had that Clemson pedigree, big time name, but he never found his footing in Kansas City. Like I said, he had some training camp heroics, maybe even some preseason heroics, but never did anything regular season wise. Just 12 catches for 53 yards in 12 games. His release, which was requested last week, opens the door for, hungrier or just talent that wants to prove themselves again. But Presley's signing, again, doesn't exactly scream a wide receiver 4 solution, even with Rashee Rice's 2 to 4 game suspension looming. Yeah, he's a 6'3", 210-pound project, brings some size, some special team chops. But again, the real intrigue here still lies with what the Chiefs have. Tyquan Thornton. You have potentials like Elijah Badger. You have Remigio. There's other talent there, Sky Moore. But Thornton's 4.28 speed, Badger's 20.4 yards per catch. I think that gives them an edge in a crowded developmental group. But again, going back to Presley in his career at Baylor, 81 receptions, 1,048 yards, 7 touchdowns. Last season, 31 catches, 429 yards, and 3 touchdowns. But looking at Tyquan Thornton in his NFL career, 39 catches, 385 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Let's go to Badger. Last year at Florida, 39 catches, 806 yards, 4 touchdowns, 20.4 yards per catch, and no drops either on 61 targets. That's good, reliable hands, and 82.5% of catches were for first downs or touchdowns. He's reliable, red zone, third downs, you can go to him. So yeah, there's a camp battle to watch here. It's that wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6 spot. It's brutal. Thornton, Badger, Sky Moore, Nico Remigio, Jason Brownlee even. They're all duking it out there. But Thornton, a former Patriots second rounder, I think he has the speed to stretch the field for Mahomes. Again, his injury history, inconsistent hands, could be red flags for some. But again, I think he's not necessarily a lock, but I think he's one of the better, people to get on this roster when it's all said and done. Badger, he combines, metrics, kick return ability, 578 yards, 28.9 average in 2023. I think that makes him a dark horse to take Remigio's spot, especially if he shines not only in training camp, but preseason as well. So Moore's experience, Remigio's special teams value, that does keep them in the mix. I think Remigio probably survives more than Sky Moore does, but Presley's blocking, his coverage skills might land him on the practice squad at best. So swapping Ross for Presley, I think that tweaks, the wide receiver depth, but it doesn't solve the Rice suspension gap. So Thornton and Badger have higher ceilings. I think those two would make it over Presley anyways. So Veach still needs to keep hunting for a veteran like Keenan Allen to steady this group. Well, speaking of that, what are some top 3 free agents that the Chiefs could sign during camp? It never stops. You always got to look to keep, supplying depth, keep the roster as best as it can be, especially if we see any injuries or anything like that here in the next few weeks. But yes, the Chiefs can bolster their roster with, I think, three high-impact free agents. You have Justin Simmons, Zadarius Smith, and Keenan Allen. I think each can fill a very critical gap here for the Chiefs. Justin Simmons, he's your four-time All-Pro safety, proven playmaker. He's going to help anchor SPAC's secondary. 32 career interceptions, and last year's stats, 71 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's a leader. He's a veteran. He knows what to do. He knows where to be. But is he too pricey of an addition for, a contender chasing a ring? I'm not sure there. Well, we'd have to see if he took a little bit of a cut. Looking at Zadarius Smith's 9 sacks, 60-plus pressures last season, this could ignite the pass rush that dipped to 39 sacks last season. And with Felix Anudike-Uzomah's 3.5 career sacks, Charles Minihue's history concerns, Smith's veteran presence, if you can get him for $6 to $8 million, that's a discount, and it's very tempting to try to bring him on to this roster. And then, as I mentioned, Keenan Allen, 6-time Pro Bowler. I think he could seamlessly fill Rice's underneath role. 70 catches, 744 yards, 7 touchdowns last season. Despite what Chicago was going through, he's still elite. I think get him at $5 to $7 million area. That fits the Chiefs' cap space. I think that's a good deal, and I think that gives Mahomes a reliable target. Those three are very important. Going back to Simmons, as I said last year, 71 tackles, 49 solo, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, 65.8 PFF grade. In his career, 32 interceptions, 70 pass breakups. Smith last season, of course, had the split there, but 9 sacks, 60 pressures, 15.9% pressure rate, 35 tackles. And then Keenan Allen, 70 receptions, 744 yards, 7 touchdowns, 73.7% catch rate. Amazing. In his career, 974 receptions, 11,274 yards, and 66 touchdowns. He's been doing this for a while. I think Mahomes could get that, very last of his career out of him. Again, but looking at that defense, Simmons would thrive in this, split safety look, pair him with Brian Cook, Jaden Hicks. I like it. That's going to replace Justin Reed's range, communication skills. Again, his turnover ability. I think that's going to stabilize his secondary with the likes of, Mike Edwards and Shamari Connor. Smith's speed to power rushing. I think that adds versatility to this blitz-heavy front. I think that's going to complement George Karlaftis and Chris Jones. And then again, you can mentor Anudike-Uzomah. And then Allen's 5.1 yards after catch per reception. That aligns with Rice's short area role, enhancing Mahomes' quick game alongside Xavier Worthy's deep speed and Travis Kelce's middle dominance. So again, Simmons, Smith, Allen, I won't even say that's, a particular order. It just, those three could elevate this Chiefs, Super Bowl push. I think that addresses the secondary depth, the pass rush inconsistency, and Rice's absence. But again, Simmons' price tag, it could be a little steep, but his leadership, his turnover ability, that fits this team. Smith's production, it's a bargain, and Allen just has that, savviness to him and would be a great veteran for this group, better than what I think Juju Smith-Schuster could bring for you. So I think that would be perfect for Mahomes. But looking at who's here right now in training camp, the Chiefs showed off their new offensive line, and it was a sight to see because some people had to move around just a little bit. But again, this offensive line has been under the microscope all offseason. They're going to be all training camp. Of course, we have Jawan Taylor on the PUP list, the cannot perform list. That forced a reshuffle in itself, but it gave fans a glimpse of maybe a long-term front that is going to protect the one and only Patrick Mahomes. So this lineup that they unveiled on training camp, you have Josh Simmons at left tackle, Kingsley Suamataia at left guard, Creed Humphrey at center, Trey Smith at right guard, and Jalen Moore at right tackle. Again, signals some bold changes. Simmons, the number 32 overall pick for the Chiefs this year, Moore a free agent, signee from San Francisco. Those are the new faces with some big opportunities this year. Simmons, clean slate, 0 sacks allowed last season at Ohio State, makes his, immediate left tackle reps a massive win, especially coming off an injury. But Moore's shift to right tackle is the real eyebrow raiser. He was initially pegged for left tackle, but his right tackle reps suggest that the Chiefs, are testing his versatility, potentially putting him there, and then Taylor's starting spot is in jeopardy. Suamata'ia's early crack at left guard is promising, but he's not a lock. Of course, you have Hunter Norzad, Mike Caliendo. Those guys are also fighting for a spot. The trade of All-Pro Joe Tooney and, this in the spring, this shook the unit for sure. And Taylor's absence does open the door for some experimentation. But again, Simmons last season at Ohio State, 0 sacks allowed, only 1 penalty on 300 snaps, 83.1 overall PFF, 82 pass block, 68.7 run block. Simmons, looks poised to lock down that left tackle spot, but Suamataia faces heat from Norzad and Caliendo. That's really, I think, what we have to watch, because if they move more, they have him over there, then you know what I mean? I think that actually might be the one to watch here, Suamataia and Caliendo. But again, Moore's right tackle addition, that challenges Taylor, the most penalized lineman in the league. So if Moore excels, he could flip to left guard or stay at right tackle, forcing Taylor to either a swing role or even a potential trade. So the Chiefs' new look line, Simmons, Suamataia, Humphrey, Smith, Moore, I think this could potentially be the long-term promise, but it might have some short-term questions. We'll see if this sticks as training camp goes on. And what are some of the headlines that we've seen so far from training camp? More specifically on the first day, with day 1 of Chiefs training camp, brought the heat. And I mean that not in, the sense of the weather, although it did bring the heat there as well. But we saw some great things from the Chiefs on day 1. Patrick Mahomes, flashing the deep ball magic, Rashee Rice stealing the show, and the secondary shakeup stole headlines too. As we know, Christian Fulton also on the PUP list. That allowed Chamari Connor into the slot, and he got a pick. So Fulton's knee injury, Spags, he's got to lean on Connor a little bit more. He's a 2023 fourth rounder. He's been a Swiss Army knife in the secondary. Connor's pick off Mahomes. Of course, Drew Tranquill did deflect it, but it was in the red zone. That just shows that he's ready to hold down the fort until Fulton's return. And Mahomes, again, going back to what we hope, true to his form, he was airing it out. He connected with Xavier Worthy on a deep sideline shot in the first 7-on-7 play. Chiefs aren't messing around. It's a sign Andy Reid's offense is doubling down on that vertical game that they were promising us all offseason. Their vertical game ranked second lowest in 20-plus yard attempts last season. Rice was the day's biggest winner, though. He was eating up the targets. As we know, he is wide receiver 1. It's solidified. 12-yard touchdown on a zig route, a drag route, showcasing, his yard after catch abilities. It's going to be fun. Hopefully his suspension isn't that long. And then in the backfield, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. Of course, they dominated those first-team running back snaps, but Elijah Mitchell's passing down reps hint at a niche role that he could have. Again, Riso, 2 receptions, 10 yards, 1 touchdown in the red zone. In 2023, 6 of 7 touchdowns in the red zone. So it's good to see that, he's excelling right now, and they're doing a lot of red zone drills, and we still see that he has that flair down there. Rice's target volume, again, most targeted in practice. Red zone savviness, again, he's wide receiver 1, suspension or not, it's clear as day. Connor's versatility, slot coverage, again, getting that interception off the tip, that makes him a, stopgap star until Fulton returns. Maybe he makes a case for getting some more snaps. Worthy's deep ball connection with Mahomes, again, the first 7-on-7 play. A year 2 leap, hopefully. Fingers crossed there. Hopefully that chemistry just keeps building, especially with Brown and Rice healthy. So Tuesday's camp showed the Chiefs' offense is ready to explode. Mahomes is ready to get back to the deep ball. Rice is ready to get back to the red zone dominance. And again, we might see some people step up in that secondary as Fulton sits out right now. And again, we can't forget about Mitchell. He could become a good passing down back. Those passing down reps are intriguing. But again, Pacheco and Hunt remain in the running back workhorses. So expect Reid and Spags to keep pushing these playmakers as camp rolls on. It's going to be a fun one. And of course, we'll have updates all week through camp, plus more information on news and rumors regarding the Kansas City Chiefs. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you haven't already. And let me know in the comments what you think about any of the 4 topics we talked about. What are you most excited for? Let me hear it. What are you most excited for? What are you looking out for the most during training camp early on? As I mentioned, I'm your host, Calvin Silver's Chiefs Latest daily episodes Monday through Friday. Until next time, have a good one.